सर्वारससा जय जय ज्वाला सर्वा परखियो भावे जा प्रजते ते प्रजा परखियो श्री जनावा पद्मापयो कोरियो स्मरा श्री जनावी पादा पद्मा कोरियो स्मरा दीन कृष्ण दासा को हे नाम संकीर्ता दीन कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन जय राधे श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहा श्री गोविंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण जय
You've got 10 minutes. Keep singing Hare Krishna.
I think he will. जय 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 राधा गोकुलानंद राधा गोकुलानंद राधा गोकुलानंद श्री राधे जय राधा गोकुलानंद राधा गोकुलानंद राधा गोकुलानंद श्री राधे जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल प्रभु lady.
Fast speed, fast speed.
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana. Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana. Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana. Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohana. Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohana. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana. Krishna Jaya Vrindavana. Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohana. Madana Mohana. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana. Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana. Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana. Kalindi Yamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavana. Yamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavana. Keshi Gata Vanshi Bata Dwadasha Kana. Gata Vanshi Bata Dwadasha Kana. Keshi Gata Vanshi Bata Dwadasha Kana. Gata Vanshi Bata Dwadasha Kana. Jaha Sab Leela Koilo Shri Nanda Nanda. Sab Leela Koilo Shri Nanda Nanda. Shri Nanda Jashoda Jaya Jaya Mahavan. Nanda Jashoda Jaya Jaya Gopavan. Shri Damadi Jaya Jaya Dhenu Vatsaka. Damadi Jaya Jaya Dhenu Vatsaka. Shri Damadi Jaya Jaya Dhenu Vatsaka. Shri Damadi Jaya Jaya Dhenu Vatsaka. Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirti Dasandari. Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirti Dasandari. Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhiranagari. Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhiranagari. Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhiranagari. Purnamasi Jaya Abhiranagari. Jaya Jaya Gopeshwara Vrindavana Maja. Jaya Jaya Gopeshwara Vrindavana Maja. Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Bhattu Dvijaraja. Jaya Krishna Sakha Bhattu Dvijaraja. Jaya Rama Gata Jaya Rohini Nandana. Rama Gata Jaya Rohini Nandana. Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Vasi Jata Jana. Vrindavana Vasi Jata Jana. Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan. Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan. Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan. Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan. Bhakti Tejahara Pailo Shri Govinda Jaran. Ite Jahara Pailo Shri Govinda Jaran. Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Sham. Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Sham. Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manoram. Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manoram. Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manoram. Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Manoram. Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manoram. Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manoram. Jaya Jaya Jala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sa. Jaya Jala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sa. Parakiya Bhave Jaha Brajate Prachar. Parakiya Bhave Jaha Brajate Prachar. Shri Janava Pada Padma Koriya Smara. Janava Pada Padma Koriya Smara. Dina Krishna Dasa Kore Nama Sankirtan. Dina Krishna Dasa Kore Nama Sankirtan. Krishna Dasa Kore Nama Sankirtan. Dina Krishna Dasa Kore Nama Sankirtan. Krishna Dasa Kore Nama Sankirtan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana. Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohana. Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohana. Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohana. Madana Mohana. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan. Makunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Samakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Samakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Karindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahabana Karindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahabana Shigata Banshi Vata Dvadasha Kana Shigata Banshi Vata Dvadasha Kana Jaha Sab Leela Koilo Shinanda Nandana Jaha Sab Leela Koilo Shinanda Nandana Jaha Sab Leela Koilo Shinanda Chandana Shinanda Yashoda Jaya Jaya Mahabana Nanda Yashoda Jaya Jaya Mahabana Shridamati Jaya Jaya Denu Vachakana Namati Jaya Jaya Denu Vachakana Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Avira Nagari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Avira Nagari Jaya Jaya Gopeshwara Vrindavana Maja Jaya Jaya Gopeshwara Vrindavana Maja Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Bhattu Dvijaraja Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Bhattu Dvijaraja Jaya Rama Ghata Jaya Rohini Nandana Jaya Rama Ghata Jaya Rohini Nandana Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Rohini Nandana Amagada Jaya Rohini Nandana Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Vasi Jata Jana Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Vasi Jata Jana Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanya Gana Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanya Gana Bhakti Deja Hara Vailo Shri Govinda Charana Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shah Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shah Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shah Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manora Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manora Jaya Jaya Jala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sa Jaya Jaya Jala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sa Kiya Bhave Jaha Brajade Pracha Ya Bhave Jaha Brajade Pracha Shri Janava Pada Padma Koriya Smara Shri Janava Pada Padma Koriya Smarana Dina Krishna Dasa Gore Nama Sankirtana Dina Krishna Dasa Gore Nama Sankirtana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman 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 Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Hari Bol. Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Gaura Hari Bol. जय श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, श्री श्री गौरानिताय की, Srila Prabhupada ki. Now we are having Bhagavad-gītā class. So kindly please everyone be seated. Hare Krishna, if you can make a bit space, they want to set up.
I just have to put this big seat right here, so I'll have to ask you to move. And if everybody takes their place generally this way, that would be great. Do you need a book?
Yes, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining today's Bhagavad-gītā class. So we'll just have a little bit of discussion on the Bhagavad-gītā until 7 o'clock before the next Aarti. So you're welcome to please stay for the discussion. So usually we start Bhagavad-gītā class with a bhajan called Jai Radha Madhav. So we'll sing that, and you can, if you know the words, you can follow along or you can just listen as well. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Chanavallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Chanavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Shri Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Jai, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna everyone, thank you again for joining today's Bhagavad-gītā class. So today we're reading from chapter number 9, which is entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge, text number 6. So I'll just recite the Sanskrit, which is there on the board, so you can follow along. And if you'd like to recite it, you can also have a go after me. Yatha kasha stito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan tatha sarvani bhutani matstaniti upadaraya. Yatha kasha stito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan tatha sarvani bhutani matstaniti upadaraya. Yatha kasha stito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan tatha sarvani bhutani matstaniti upadaraya. Yatha, just as, akasha stita, situated in the sky, nityam, always, vayu, the wind, sarvatra ga, blowing everywhere, mahan, great, tatha, similarly, sarvani bhutani, all created beings, matstani, situated in me, iti, thus, upadarya, try to understand. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, All seated beings rest in me. Purport. For the ordinary person, it is almost inconceivable how the huge material creation is resting in him. But the Lord is giving an example which may help us to understand. The sky may be the biggest manifestation we can conceive, and in that sky, the wind or air is the biggest manifestation in the cosmic world. The movement of the air influences the movements of everything. But although the wind is great, it is still situated within the sky. The wind is not beyond the sky. Similarly, all the wonderful cosmic manifestations are existing by the supreme will of God, and all of them are subordinate to that supreme will. As we generally say, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, everything is moving under His will. By His will, everything is being created, everything is being maintained, and everything is being annihilated. Still, He is aloof from everything, as the sky is always aloof from the activities of the wind. In the Upanishads, it is stated, Yat Pisha Vata Pavate. It is out of the fear of the Supreme Lord that the wind is blowing. Taittiriya Upanishad 281. In the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 389, it is stated, Itasya va aksharasya prashane gargi surya chandramaso vidrito tishtata itasya va aksharasya prashasane gargi dvav aprivitvo vidartus stita. By the supreme order under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the moon, the sun, and the other great planets are moving. In the Brahma Samhita 552, it is also stated, Yachakshuresha savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti rashesha teja yasyagnaya brahmati sambrita kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. This is the description of the movement of the sun. It is said that the sun is considered to be one of the eyes of the Supreme Lord, and it has immense potency to diffuse heat and light. Still it is moving in its prescribed orbit by the order and the supreme will of Govinda. So, from the Vedic literature, we can find evidence that this material manifestation, which appears to us to be very wonderful and great, is under the complete control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This will be further explained in the later verse of this chapter. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna everyone, thank you all for joining today's Bhagavad-gītā class. So today we're reading from text 9.6 and I'll just repeat the translation. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again. 9.6. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. So here Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, and he's actually giving a very profound but a very simple analogy to explain a very profound point. So he's saying, just as the mighty wind moves everywhere, and even though it rests in the sky, all the living beings also rest within Krishna. So actually Krishna is so kind that he's trying to help us understand him, even though he is inconceivable. He's trying in some way to simplify this knowledge and present it to us in a way that is actually relevant to us. So what's he using in this verse? He's actually using an analogy to try to help us understand this example that he's giving. So if we think about what an analogy is, it essentially simplifies a complex concept or a really complex idea, and it tries to explain it to us in a way that is relevant or in a way that we can relate to, something day to day in our life. It uses that to try and explain something which is beyond our understanding. So in this verse, Krishna is using the example of the wind and the sky, and what the wind is in relation to the sky and how it functions in relation to the sky. So in our material experience, we actually have a very limited perception of what we are able to understand. And so Krishna, by giving this analogy, is trying to help us see beyond what our sense perception allows us to see. Our sense perception is incredibly limited. Our senses are limited, and therefore what we can see is actually limited and limited by what our senses are able to perceive. And so there's so much on, even if we don't think about this analogy, but even if we think about our lives, there's so much beyond our understanding that is happening day to day around us, even within our own bodies. What to speak of outside of us, there's so much going on within our own bodies. But our experience of the world is just limited to what we are able to perceive through our senses. And so Krishna, through this example, is trying to help Arjuna and help us as a result to try in some way to understand his magnanimity, how great and wonderful Krishna is. So Prabhupada in the purport explains that for an ordinary person, it's actually really inconceivable to understand how great Krishna is and how inconceivable he is, and how inconceivable it is that all of the living entities and the entirety of creation, whatever we can at least mentally perceive about creation, is situated within Krishna. Just think about that for a sec. How can Krishna and all the creations, and still Krishna can be aloof from all of that? So in this example, it's saying that the mighty wind blows everywhere, but it rests within the sky. So the wind can blow everywhere throughout the world. It can go inside buildings, it can go outside of buildings, it can rustle through the leaves and the trees. It has so much power. And it's so great. Can anyone see the wind? But we can all feel the wind, we can hear the wind, but it's still so great. But still, despite how great it is, it's actually still limited, and it's contained by the sky within which it travels. So even though we can think of the wind as being so great, you can sit down if you like. There's chairs over there and there's mats as well. You're welcome to sit down if you like. So even though the wind is so great, it's actually still contained within the sky. And so in the same way, Krishna and all these created beings, all the living entities, are situated within Krishna's creation. But actually still Krishna is aloof and independent to that creation. So what can we understand from this verse? That actually the living entities, they're not beyond Krishna. So in this purport, Prabhupada says, in the previous verse, Krishna is saying himself that, and yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. So he's explaining to Arjun that he is the source of creation. All these living entities reside within the material creation. He is the maintainer of all of these creations, but at the same time, he's not a part of it. So how does that work? He's created all of this, all the intricacies and the complexities of the material world, but at the same time, he's not a part of it. We can think of this with another analogy that might be more relatable to us. We've all been to school. We've all seen in the school how there's a structure of the head teacher, and there's so many different heads of department, right? And all the heads of department are related to or have some professional relationship with the head teacher within which they're working, with who they're working. And at the same time, the head teacher has also delegated responsibilities to each of those heads of department. So the maths department has a budget or a certain curriculum that they need to teach, or maybe they have a certain goals or objectives that they need to reach for their students within the year, for example. The same may apply to other departments. And so that head of department to which those responsibilities are delegated has some degree of responsibility and control over how their resources are used, but at the same time, the head teacher who originally gave them that sense of direction or an idea about how their resources should be used still has knowledge about what is going on in each of those departments, but at the same time is still aloof from them. Not aloof meaning that he doesn't care. He's aloof in the sense that those responsibilities have been delegated onto somebody else. So in the same way, Krishna has delegated many responsibilities onto many, many demigods who take responsibility for various aspects of the workings of the material creation. But at the same time, Krishna is everywhere. Krishna in the Bhagavad-gītā says to Arjuna that he's situated within each atom. But at the same time, he's also there millions and trillions of miles away in the spiritual world. So how can he be in both places at once? But this is the wonderful nature of Krishna, that he is inconceivable, at least to our limited sense perception and our limited knowledge of understanding. If we were able to understand Krishna, then he wouldn't be so great. What makes him great is that he is beyond our ability to understand and beyond our sense perception. And so in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is another really wonderful text which explains the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, the very first verse of this scripture, which actually has 18,000 verses, the very, very first verse says, I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. So this verse already, this is just one line of the verse, and there's many, many other sentences which describe the glories of Krishna. It explains that he is the cause of all causes. So he is the cause of the material world, but he's even the cause of those causes too. It further goes on to say that he is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. So in the example we used of the teacher, the heads of department and the head teacher, they can be directly involved and understand how each of the departments in the school are working, but they can also indirectly be conscious of how the school is running, how the students are doing in terms of each of those subjects, but at the same time they can also be indirectly involved in that as well. And so there's a really wonderful verse within this same text, slightly later on within chapter 8, which describes, or actually states, the prayers of a very great personality called Queen Kunti. Does anybody know who Queen Kunti is? Yeah, go on. She was? Which Pandava? Yeah, well done, thank you. Do you know whose mum she was? Do you know whose mum she was? She was Arjun's mom. So this personality in the Bhagavad-gītā who Krishna is speaking to, she's his mom. And in this section of the Srimad Bhagavatam where she's expressing her really heartfelt prayers to Krishna, she says, being beyond the range of limited sense perception. So she's actually glorifying Krishna through her prayers. She says, being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. Has anyone seen a play before? I'm sure we've seen movies before, and we see these actors who have lives outside of that movie that they're acting within, right? But they're taking on certain characteristics and attributes in order to play a certain character within that. So in the same way, Queen Kunti is sort of glorifying Krishna in this prayer and saying that he's beyond the range of limited sense perception. He is present in the material world, or at least he comes down in the material world to bring back devotees to the spiritual world by sharing this most confidential knowledge which we're reading about today. But actually, exactly as an actor dressed as a player, he is not recognized. And then this purport further, Prabhupada expands our understanding on this verse, and he says, and yet there is a class of men with demoniac mentality who are always reluctant to accept the Lord as a supreme absolute truth. This is partially due to their poor fund of knowledge and partially due to their stubborn obstinacy. Such persons could not recognize the Lord even when he was present before them. So Prabhupada is further elaborating on this verse and showing how Krishna is very inconceivable. He's difficult for us to understand. And what to speak of understanding is actually even difficult to recognize. And Prabhupada says that actually a reason for this is because of our poor fund of knowledge. We don't have, we've all experienced education. We've all been educated in various different subject matters in our life. But at the same time, we haven't been given the essence of all knowledge, which is what, who am I, and why am I in this world, and where am I going? And if there is a destination and a purpose to this life, what's the process in order to achieve that? That is the knowledge which is missing in the education system and in our understanding of the world. And so Prabhupada is saying, because of this lack of knowledge, because of this poor fund of knowledge, we're not able to recognize the Lord. And he further goes on to say that another difficulty is that those who depend more on their imperfect senses cannot realize him as a supreme Lord. Such persons are like the modern scientist. They want to know everything by imperfect experimental knowledge, but it is not possible to know the Supreme Person by imperfect experimental knowledge. All our senses are imperfect. We claim to observe everything and anything, but we must admit that we can observe things under certain material conditions only, which are also beyond our control. This is so interesting, isn't it? Prabhupada is explaining how, again, emphasizing this point that our senses are imperfect. They're limited in the range of what they're able to understand. For example, we're all in the temple room, the lights are on, we can all see each other. But if the lights were turned off or it was nighttime, then our vision wouldn't be the same as it is now. Therefore, our ability to see is actually dependent on conditions beyond ourselves, for example, the light being on. And so Prabhupada is actually helping us to recognize our dependency, and we often, we have this mentality that we are the doer, that, the world evolves around me, I am independent, I don't need anyone. And these sort of notions are impressed onto our mind from such a young age, and we start to believe that. But actually, if we use our intelligence and use our intelligence through what the scripture is teaching us, we can actually see that we're not as independent as we think we are. We're actually very much dependent on so many aspects, even our food. The last few months it's been so hot in the country, and I'm sure everyone's heard on the news about the droughts and how much it's affecting crop production and things like that. So we're so dependent on it to rain that we can, that crops can grow and that we would have a source of sustenance. And so there's so many things which are actually beyond our control, and that which we are also still dependent on, even though we don't recognize it. And these are actually the laws of nature. This is Krishna's creation, whether we choose to accept it or not. This is how Krishna has designed the material world to work. This example is often given about the force of gravity. Does everyone believe in gravity? No. Yeah. Not quite. We don't actually, I mean, this is not something that we can directly perceive, right? But we have some experience of some sort of force that is keeping us all on our feet. Why are we not all floating in the air? There is some reason that we're all sort of staying put where we are. But, you know, if I somehow say to you that, oh, you know, I actually don't believe in gravity at all, but you can see whether I believe in it or not, it's still acting on me. It's still going to act on me, and it is acting on me whether I choose to accept it or not. And so this is the same with the same with Krishna's laws and the laws of material nature as he has designed the material world to work. The laws of karma, reincarnation, all of these laws are playing out. They're influencing us. The three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, ignorance, these are all influencing us, whether we choose to accept it or not. But an intelligent person, what do they see? They actually utilize their intelligence to accept that actually I recognize I'm not as independent as I think I am. There's so many of Krishna's energies which are there and present in my life. And it's not just that these energies are arbitrary things, they're actually coming from Krishna. They are part and parcel of Krishna. And so, again, we can recognize that we are not independent from Krishna either. And so, yeah, Prabhupada makes a really nice point in the same purport, and he says he's actually emphasizing the value of places of worship. And he doesn't actually only mention temples, he says temples, mosques, or churches. And he's glorifying them and saying that these places of worship are so wonderful because they help living entities to begin to recognize the authority of the Lord. And what's actually even more special about these places of worship is that they offer an opportunity to hear about the authority of the Lord. So how wonderful is this, right? There's so many different places or institutions that we can visit, so many, universities out there, so many different institutes where we can acquire knowledge from. But it's not the building that makes the place, it's actually what the substance and the content is that it's being offered. And so in the same way, Prabhupada is glorifying these places of worship by highlighting for us what should be our priority and our activity when we visit those places of worship. And in this particular purport, he's saying is actually to hear about Krishna, to hear from those authorities within those places of worship who teach us about who I am, why am I here, where am I going in the world, and how do I get to the spiritual world? What are those practices that I can engage myself in? And so this is the value of these spiritual places of worship. And so when we do hear about the Lord, Prabhupada emphasizes this so much in his books about purifying the senses. We've spoken about today how inconceivable the Lord is, but there is an opportunity for us to have some relationship and therefore some opportunity to conceive of the Lord through hearing and chanting about him. This is what these spiritual places of worship actually offer us. They offer us an opportunity to cleanse our heart by engaging in these practices of hearing and chanting, because it connects us to our constitutional position of being servants of Krishna. We all have a desire to do some service. We can see that even young children have such a sort of eagerness and enthusiasm to want to help out. And this desire is there innate within us, but because of our conditioning, lifetimes and lifetimes of conditioning, we use that in a perverted way to try and serve ourselves. But actually, that nature of service is actually most beneficial when it's offered to Krishna and it's engaged in service to Krishna. And so the scriptures actually so wonderfully explain how this process of hearing and chanting actually cleanses the heart. This example is given of, again, another analogy of cleansing. Cleansing the heart is like cleansing or looking at a mirror which is covered in dust. If you look at a really, really dusty mirror, what do you see? What do you see if you look at nothing? You see the dust. You see the dust, right? Can you see yourself? No, you can't even see yourself because the mirror is so dusty. So what do we have to do? If I want to see myself in the mirror, what do? I have to clean the mirror, right? And so in the same way, this analogy is given that to clean our hearts, we engage in hearing and chanting, because this holy name of Krishna is explained to be non-different from Krishna. So it's actually, we are directly associating with Krishna when we're chanting his names. Krishna is personally present with us. And because Krishna is all pure, anything which comes into contact with Krishna also becomes purified. It's like a fire. You know, if you put something into a fire, it will turn to ashes. It will get burnt up. In the same way, when these conditionings come into contact with the Krishna's purity, they become cleansed from our heart as well. And then at the same time, we are able to perceive reality as it is. We're able to recognize, like we were mentioning earlier, you know, about these different energies of Krishna, which are these laws of Krishna, which are functioning around us, but we're so oblivion to. We go, you know, our day-to-day lives without even, I mean, today I was thinking about gravity, but how many times do we think about gravity on a day-to-day basis, right? So this cleansing of the heart, therefore, makes us more conscious of how insignificant we really are. When we really think about it, there's so much that is actually beyond our control. There's only very, very little that we actually do control. And so we all have free will, and Krishna has given us the opportunity to utilize that free will in any way we like. But what's an intelligent person going to do? They'll use that free will in a purposeful and wise way. And so what does that mean for us? It means to try to learn about and study, you know, spiritual scripture and try to understand who we are, where we're going, and how we can achieve that goal. So yeah, I hope that analogy sort of helps to understand what Krishna is saying in this verse today. We have 5 minutes still before Aarti. If anybody would like to ask any questions, or if anyone has any reflections from what we've discussed today, you're welcome to share. Yeah.
There are no questions. Can I ask you to read some of the purport and all of it once more?
For 9.6? Yeah, of course. So the purport says, for the ordinary person, it is almost inconceivable how the huge material creation is resting in him. But the Lord is giving an example which may help us to understand. The sky may be the biggest manifestation we can conceive, and in that sky, the wind or air is the biggest manifestation in the cosmic world. The movement of the air influences the movements of everything. But although the wind is great, it is still situated within the sky. The wind is not beyond the sky. Similarly, all the wonderful cosmic manifestations are existing by the supreme will of God, and all of them are subordinate to that supreme will. As we generally say, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus everything is moving under his will. By his will, everything is being created, everything is being maintained, and everything is being annihilated. Still, he is aloof from everything, as the sky is always aloof from the activities of the wind. In the Upanishads, it is stated, Yad Bisha Vatal Pavate, it is out of the fear of the Supreme Lord that the wind is blowing. In the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, it is stated, by the supreme order, under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the moon, the sun, and the other great planets are moving. In the Brahma Samhita 552, also it is stated, this is the description of the movement of the sun. It is said that the sun is considered to be one of the eyes of the Supreme Lord, and that it has immense potency to diffuse heat and light. Still it is moving in its prescribed orbit by the order and the supreme will of Govinda. So, from the Vedic literature, we can find evidence that this material manifestation, which appears to be very wonderful and great, is under the complete control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This will be further explained in the later verses of this chapter. Thank you so much for listening. There'll be Aarti now at 7 o'clock, so you're please welcome to stay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.
Well, we have a strict policy regarding who we pass out clanging instruments to, instruments that make bright sounds. But we can give you a tambourine. Yeah, you have to be very careful. Yeah, the timing is important. Who's got the cartels? I'm monitoring cartels closely. No random distribution of cartels from this day forward. Everybody, I'd like to keep a tiny corridor up the center of the temple room in order that we do not have our backs directly facing Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya. Yeah, if you see anybody standing in front of Prabhupada with their back to him, ask them to move left or right. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ki, Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Kiba Jaya Jaya Gora Chandar Arati Ko Shobha Kiba Jaya Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Ko Shobha Janavi Tatavane Jagamana Lova Janavi Tatavane Jagamana Lova Gaurangira Rotik Shobha Jaga Janamana Lobha lobha jaga janamana lobha dakine nitai chan bame gadadhara dakine nitai chan bame gadadhara Nikateya Dvaita Shini Vasa Chatradhara Nikateya Dvaita Shini Vasa Chatradhara Boshe Yache Gaurachand Ratna Simhasane Boshe Yache Gaurachand Ratna Simhasane Arati Koren Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Koren Brahma Adi Devagane Narari Ari Kori Chamaradhulaya Narari Ari Kori Chamaradhulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Bashu Gosharigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Bashu Gosharigaya Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala Mathura Mardanga Baje Paramarasala Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ujvala Bahu Kote Chandra Jini Vadana Ujvala Kala Deshe Banamala Kore Jalamala Kala Deshe Banamala Kore Jvala